In the aftermath of one of the most chaotic UFC events in recent memory, Tom Aspinall has finally broken his silence. The heavyweight contender, once hailed as the next great hope of British MMA, sat in a hospital bed, his left eye swollen and bandaged, trying to explain what really happened that night at UFC 321. His voice was calm but tired, the weight of disappointment hanging over every word. The world had seen the eye poke. The replays were everywhere, Ciryl Gane's finger driving deep, almost knuckle-deep, into Aspinall's eye. The fight ended in confusion, the arena filled with boos, and the internet flooded with criticism. Now, weeks later, Tom was finally ready to tell his side of the story. "It felt like someone touched the back of my eyeball," he said in his video, his voice wavering slightly. It wasn't even stinging. It was just pain, like something pressing against the back of your eye. It was horrible. The footage cut between Tom lying in the hospital bed and doctors carefully examining his eye. He explained that Gane had already been warned earlier in the fight to keep his fingers closed, twice in fact. The third time, it went horribly wrong. For a moment, you could hear his family in the background, their voices filled with worry. His mother spoke softly about the fear she felt watching her son clutch his face, wondering if he'd ever see properly again. "It's horrendous as a parent," she said. "You just want him to be safe. People can say what they want online, but when it's your son and you're hearing that he might lose his eye, it's terrifying." Tom's history with injuries made the moment even more painful. Just 2 years ago, he had torn his MCL and meniscus only 15 seconds into a fight against Curtis Blades. That had been a nightmare comeback story. Now the nightmare had returned in a different form. But this time, it wasn't his knee. It was his vision. The doctors later confirmed that the stoppage was absolutely justified. While early scans didn't reveal permanent damage, they cautioned that more tests would be needed in the UK to be sure. "It was good the fight was stopped," one of the doctors told him. "You should never risk it. Vision is too important." But while the professionals spoke with reason, the internet was not nearly as kind. Fans flooded social media with harsh comments. Some claimed that Tom had exaggerated the injury. Others accused him of using the eye poke as an excuse to escape a losing fight. One viral comment read, "He was getting outclassed and took the easy way out." Another mocked, "Bro saw a chance to quit and grabbed it with both hands." The cruelty of the online world was relentless. Even as Tom tried to be transparent, sharing footage of his hospital visit, showing the bruised, bloodshot eye, many still weren't convinced. Some said posting the video made things worse, that he was only giving haters more ammunition. But others rallied behind him, calling for compassion and perspective. "It's easy to talk from the couch," one fan wrote. "These guys risk everything every time they step in there. Show some respect." Among those defending Tom was Paddy Pimblett, the outspoken Liverpudlian who always finds a way to stir the crowd. Watching the replay live on his own channel, Paddy couldn't believe what he saw. "That was both eyes, lad," he said, eyes wide. "Not just one finger and one eye, both. You can't continue after that. The fight's gotta be stopped." He went on to say it was one of the biggest disappointments in UFC pay-per-view history. Not because of either fighter's performance, but because of the sheer bad luck that robbed fans of a proper finish. "They've got to run that one back, lad," he said. "Can't end it like that." But not everyone shared Paddy's understanding. Former fighters and analysts began dissecting every moment, questioning Tom's words and his actions inside the octagon. One commentator argued that Tom had made a critical mistake when he told the referee, "I can't see." "That's the one thing you never say," he explained. "The moment those words come out, the fight's over. If you need time, just say, 'Give me a minute.' But don't ever say you can't see." Another analyst went even further, claiming the timing of the stoppage didn't look good for Tom. "He was losing that fight," the commentator said bluntly. Gane had the rhythm. The jab was landing and Tom was starting to fade. It doesn't help his case that he said those words. Now people are always going to question if he wanted out. But not everyone was eager to jump on the criticism train. Fighter and analyst Sean O'Malley, known for his honesty and empathy, came to Tom's defense. "People questioning Tom's toughness are insane," he said. "You're talking about a guy who has fought through injuries, who's put his body on the line time and time again. You can punch that man in the face all day and he won't quit. But when it comes to an eye poke, that's different. That's not something you can fight through. You can't just decide to see again. You can't risk going blind for pride." O'Malley spoke from experience, recalling how he himself had been poked in the eye during training. "You don't know if it's coming back," he said. "That panic is real. You can't fake that." So anyone saying Tom gave up doesn't understand what that moment feels like. It's the cruel paradox of fighting. The same fans who cheer for blood and glory are often the first to call a man soft when he protects his health. But for Tom Aspinall, this wasn't about pride anymore. It was about recovery, patience, and redemption. Dana White confirmed that the UFC plans to rebook the fight once Tom is medically cleared, but it will take time. His last 2 fights, combined, had lasted barely over a minute. For a man once seen as the savior of the heavyweight division, fate had been merciless. Elsewhere in the MMA world, drama was brewing on other fronts. Paddy Pimblett once again found himself in the spotlight, this time calling out Umar Nurmagomedov for what he described as a boring performance at UFC 321. The Dagestani fighter had returned from his first career loss with a dominant but cautious decision win over Mario Bautista, relying heavily on wrestling and control rather than fireworks. "He's good," Paddy admitted, "but that fight nearly put me to sleep." His criticism echoed a growing sentiment among fans who wanted more action from the undefeated prospect. Even Israel Adesanya, streaming the event live, literally fell asleep during the broadcast, waking up only when the Aspinall Gane fight ended in chaos. The irony wasn't lost on viewers. On a night that was supposed to restore excitement, it seemed every fight left fans wanting more. Before the event, Dana White had urged Umar to make a statement, to prove he was worthy of another shot at Merab Dvalishvili's bantamweight title. Instead, Umar's methodical dominance may have cost him that opportunity. While he remains one of the most talented grapplers in the division, Dana wants star power, and in today's UFC, star power often means violence. Now, with Merab set to defend his title against Petr Yan in December, Umar is stuck in limbo. The Dagestani doesn't like to wait. His faith and training schedule revolve around Ramadan, which starts in mid-February. If Merab wins, he'll need time off. If Yan wins, there may be a trilogy. Either way, Umar might not see a title shot until late next year. For a man driven by revenge and purpose, that's an eternity. "Of course I want revenge," Umar said in a recent interview. "I want to punch Merab's face all 5 rounds. No takedowns, just strikes. I want him to feel it." His intensity was unmistakable, the same quiet fury that has defined so many fighters from Khabib's camp. But the road to revenge is long and the division isn't waiting. As if the UFC needed more chaos, Islam Makhachev made headlines for all the wrong reasons. Just weeks before the biggest fight of his career, he was involved in a minor car accident in New York. No one was hurt, but witnesses said Islam was visibly furious afterward, shouting at the other driver in a rare display of raw emotion. Fans hadn't seen him that angry in years. "You could tell it shook him," one journalist reported. "He's usually calm, but this time, he snapped." Still, Islam brushed it off quickly, reminding fans that he's focused on what truly matters, defending his title and continuing the legacy of his mentor, Khabib. But the moment offered a glimpse of something rare, the pressure building inside a man expected to carry an empire on his shoulders. Meanwhile, Ilia Topuria was busy setting the internet on fire for entirely different reasons. The undefeated Georgian champion posted a cryptic message online, teasing a major announcement. "Something different is coming tomorrow. Something that shows who I am outside the octagon." The post sparked a wave of speculation. Was it a new business venture? A charity initiative? A film project? Fans flooded the comments with theories, eager to see what the confident, unpredictable Topuria had planned. Whatever it was, it showed once again that Ilia understands the game beyond fighting. He knows how to build intrigue, how to keep his name buzzing even when he's not throwing punches. And in the strangest twist of the week, Jon Jones once again found himself trending, this time because of a viral video featuring Hasbullah. In the clip, Jones jokingly interacted with the internet's favorite Dagestani prankster, seemingly forgetting that Hasbullah isn't actually a child. It reminded fans of the time Mike Tyson caught similar backlash after playfully cradling Hasbullah, unaware that he was in fact a 26-year-old adult. Every time the tiny internet star appears next to a UFC legend, the internet erupts. It's absurd, hilarious, and somehow always the most talked about moment of the week, but behind the jokes and memes, the tone of the MMA world remains serious. The fallout from UFC 321 continues to echo across the sport. Tom Aspinall is at home, healing and reflecting. His supporters call for patience. His critics demand proof. Ciryl Gane is waiting for a rematch that could redeem his name or ruin it again. Umar Nurmagomedov is chasing revenge. Islam Makhachev is balancing pressure and preparation. And Ilia Topuria, ever the showman, is reminding everyone that fighting is only part of the story. UFC 321 may have ended with boos, but its aftershocks are shaping the future of multiple divisions. And for fans, it's a reminder of why they keep watching, because in this sport, anything can happen. One moment you're on top of the world, the next you're fighting to explain yourself from a hospital bed. If you enjoyed this breakdown of all the chaos surrounding UFC 321 and beyond, drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Tom Aspinall was right to stop the fight? Should the rematch with Ciryl Gane happen right away? And can Umar Nurmagomedov and Islam Makhachev reclaim their dominance in 2025? Let's hear what you think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories that go beyond the cage, where every fight is more than just a fight. It's a story of pain, pride, and redemption.